Hey, Jordan, what's up?
But can it help keep me asleep?
Absolutely. It intelligently senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you, quote, effortlessly comfortable.
Will it help me come out swinging?
You got this. She can really promise better sleep. Not promise, proof.
How are you doing today? Yeah, tell me about it. I just shoveled 7 more inches today. We're up to 21 now on the ground. I think we get a reprieve tonight, and then we're supposed to get more tomorrow. That's the way it is. Let Louise know I've got a package coming to her. I sent all your stuff, yours and hers, all to her place. It's got a case worth of penny sleeves in there, too. Yeah, I know. I saw it. It's going to be a good one. Y'all be safe. This is not a week to get out and do stuff. That's for sure. I got to take the wife to work in the morning, so I'll be out in it, but it shouldn't be too bad tomorrow here. It's just cold. Really cold. All right. That's all chrome. I don't have anything specific tonight, Jordan. I talked to people the other day. They said they didn't really want me to get another case of hobby or jumbo. So as soon as we get in some of the retail, we'll work up some retail breaks. So nothing specific tonight. I've been snowed in. So I got to the post office and shipped everything off. Got all the breaks sorted. So progress anyway.
It is clear that President Trump, in public, I mean, out in your face, at his rally on January 6th, incited insurrectionists to come to the Capitol to disrupt our proceedings. And that fits squarely within the confines of the statute that he is accused of conspiring with Rudy Giuliani and others to violate. That is the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871, which, as you said, was put in place to stop the intimidation and violence against Southern Congresspeople, often black, who travel to Washington, D.C. for official business. And so this is
So I'll just kind of leave it up to whatever anybody wants to do tonight. I'm going to watch the town hall at 8 o'clock, so we got about an hour and a half. Well, might not even have that long. I guess it's 7, not 8.
So, Congressman, there's something specific in here which is very significant. The lawsuit accuses Trump of delaying his speech that day for a specific reason, so that members of the Proud Boys could advance to the Capitol and overcome the police presence there. Do you have evidence, timeline evidence, to support that?
Yes, no question about it. The Proud Boys split off from the rally about a half hour early and started walking towards the Capitol at that time. And when they got to the Capitol, they created a pretty much a diversion, which then allowed the larger crowd to approach, at which time they were able to gain entry into the Capitol. And so it was a carefully coordinated event. There were, while the president was speaking, while President Trump was speaking, the Proud Boys were marching. And then when the main crowd approached, Donald Trump was tweeting. And there were bullhorns and radios in use telling the public who was approaching the Capitol what the president was saying to further incite the crowd. And so it was a carefully coordinated and staged event and effectively pulled off.
So, obviously, Trump was not convicted, right? You only had 7 Republicans, but they were 7 Republicans who stood up courageously and said that Trump did what he did. But yet in this lawsuit, obviously, it's Democrats who have signed on board. Are you concerned that could make something which should be nonpartisan?
Well, you have to keep in mind that this lawsuit is filed by the NAACP, which has a history and a legacy of protecting black people and the rights of black people. And this was a race riot. It had as its basis racism. I mean, this whole big lie that Trump told to incite the insurrectionists was based on the alleged theft of votes in places like Atlanta, Detroit, Philadelphia, Milwaukee. This is where black voters are. And he wanted to stop the steal, incentivizing his people to go attack based on them thinking that black folks had taken something from them. And so this whole affair was
That's
built
Joey
on
Bart.
racism. And that's why the NAACP came in to file this lawsuit along with Congressman Benny Thompson. And I look forward to joining it.
All right, well, I appreciate your time, Congressman Johnson. Thank you very much. And I want to go now to Harvard Law School professor Lawrence Tribe. So, Professor Tribe, look, we talked about whether Trump will be held accountable, right? Mitch McConnell said he hasn't been held accountable yet, right? Implying that there should be some
they can be held liable. This lawsuit is extremely powerful. The evidence is flawless. The law is clear. There was an 1883 Supreme Court decision that, in a kind of scattershot way, eliminated some parts of the law of which this was a part, but they never took aim at this statute. This statute is strong. It will be upheld, and it will be a basis for liability.
Okay, so then in that case, you get to a point where you're going to have, discovery and depositions and all of those things. What happens then? I know that the lawyer for the NAACP says they want to depose both Trump and Giuliani. Are we ever going to get a deposition of the former president? Invoking executive privilege because he was president at the time, or is it possible that we actually do get a deposition from him and we all get to see it?
He's being sued in his private capacity, not as president. There's no version of the job description of president that includes interfering with the smooth transition to the next president. It takes a while to enforce these subpoenas, but he has no legal basis whatsoever for resisting a deposition. His day will come, and it's right around the corner.
All right, so let me ask you about the legal issue here, because Trump's longtime personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani,
Hey, Micker, what's up, man?
any legal matters. That's the
How are you doing tonight?
advisor, Jason Miller. Any legal matters. We saw the lawyers who just represented him in the Senate.
Hey, Micker, I've got your base cards for that break on the
Senators have made up their mind.
Brew Crew. I finished sorting those out, so I'll get those to you next time.
Who here's to represent him?
You've got probably a 2-inch stack. So you got a few more. Nothing big. All the rookies you've got already. I just hadn't gotten the base cards done.
They're going to have to dig pretty deep to find lawyers who will defend this president. And maybe they can find someone, but the point is not the lawyers. The point is that there is no good defense. As Mitch McConnell himself said, having delayed the trial to the point where the clock ran out, he said, "Oh, too bad, it was too late to try the president." But of course he was guilty. That's what Mitch McConnell said. And as it seems to me that when the people who vote for you say that you were guilty, you're in trouble.
Oh, that's true. He said both morally and practically, and you laid it out. All right, thank you very much, Professor, as always. And next, Joe Biden just arriving in Milwaukee for our town hall.
Oh, yeah. Agreed. I think there's Yelich and Braun and a few other guys. Should be some of the guys from last year, too. Haria, so forth.
Keep wearing your mask, keep social distancing, and all of it.
Tell everybody how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. I mean, sorry. No, but only pay for what you need.
Oh.
The bike pad can. All Ultrasons have rapid dry technology and they absorb 40% faster. The gush happens fast. That's why always absorbs faster.
At Philadelphia, we know what makes a perfect smoothie. The recipe we invented over 125 years ago, and the world's best, and probably only.
All right. So I got my Kristen Yelich redemption back from. Not sure what this is from. I don't think this is from Update. Oh, this was from. Yeah, this is from Update box. Box topper from Update Chrome. Yeah, I sent that. It came back already. So Yelich is signed. What are you talking about? The Series 1? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. I got 11 boxes of that, Mike Micker. Yeah, we could do something, but I'm not sure how much people are going to want to do. Yeah, we could do 10 spots at whatever. 3 teams. I don't have a problem with that. I'll do it however you guys want to do it.
Tonight, a warning for anyone who has received the coronavirus vaccine. Harvard epidemiologist warns the virus could mutate. It could infect people who, are already getting sick now. Mutate into a variant that could be much harder to stop.
The more opportunities we give the virus to make contact with somebody who is immune, the more opportunities there are for the virus to make its way around the community.
All right, so that is Update. So is this series? All right, that's Update. I gotta get that out of the way. Let's see, 2 for 28. We could do 2 boxes. It'd be 28 a piece for 10 spots. That wouldn't be too expensive, and you would certainly get something. We'll do random team. I'm okay with that.
What do you say to this? Is this something you're worried about?
Well, what Dr. Newman is saying is that viruses make mistakes when they replicate. And some of these mistakes in their replication are not advantageous to the virus. Some don't matter.
All right, let's see here.
And if the virus mutates in a way that's
2021 Tops Series 1 2 hobby box 10 spot 3 random teams.
All right, so that's, a significant thing to say. Let me ask about one other thing. Dr. Eric Finkelstein, an epidemiologist, warning about the UK variant. And his point was, I'll quote him, not to be deceived by total cases dropping.
So 2021 Series 1 2 box hobby 10 spot 3 random teams per spot $28. How's that sound?
Some of these variants, not just on transmissibility, but in whether they are, in fact, more deadly. Do you share that concern that there may be
All right.
surging cases of the more transmissible variant?
Does that sound good? I don't have a problem. We can try it. We'll see if we can get enough people on to do a 10 spotter. Remember, do not pay for spots until it fills. I don't want to have to do refunds.
We're not seeing that yet. There's no sign of uptake.
All right, well, Dr. Ryan, as always, I appreciate your time.
All right.
President Biden in that motorcade heading towards the town hall in Milwaukee, Wisconsin tonight. With 19 snow, like so much of this country.
All right, there we go. Don't worry about it yet. Let's see what people think, and then we'll go from there.
One specific group of Americans have found themselves the target of a growing number of hate crimes.
Your safety is our priority. That's why experts like Kyle install lethal gutter protection even on the coolest days. Knowing how to hold up on unprotected gutters can do real damage. And the longer you go without a leak filter, the worse the damage gets. Leak filter filters out debris, allowing water to flow freely. And you'll never worry about your gutters again. It's safer for everyone. Call 833 leak filter or go to gibsonfilter.com for your free gutter inspection and estimate.
We all have our own journey ahead of us, our own hopes and dreams. We'll pass many milestones that define who we want to be and even more. So celebrate that.
You think there'd be any interest to do another box of hoops that way too? 47 is an awful lot, though.
Follow our Texas roads. They know exactly which parking lots have the strongest signal.
I just don't have the bandwidth for more business. Seriously, I don't have the bandwidth. Glitchy video calls with regional offices? Yeah, that's my thing.
With AT&T Business, you do the things you love. Our people and network will help do the things you don't. Let's take care of business. AT&T.
Keeping your oyster business growing. Indeed, you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of
Well, we can throw them both up there. We got nothing else going on right now.
I have moderate to severe
Gotcha.
psoriasis.
All right. Well, that's fine, John. You can take a spot.
90% clearer skin at 4 months after just 2 doses.
Skydris may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Before treating
Micker, you want a spot?
tuberculosis, tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches or coughs, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
I feel free to bare my skin. Ask your dermatologist about Skyrist.
President Joe Biden is now in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on his way to the theater that you see on your screen, where he will be at a town hall fielding questions here on CNN in just about an hour. Anderson Cooper is there hosting tonight's town hall. So, Anderson, look, this is a significant thing, the first formal trip for the president as president, coming there to take questions.
All right, 8 spots left. One for Micker and one for John.
That I know can fit over 1,000, so all coronavirus, everything is compliant. Who's going to be in the crowd asking questions?
Micker, let me know if you want a second one. We'll start with that, though. 8 spots left. What's up, guys? How's everything going? I see 2 people talking and 3 more hiding. What's going on tonight, guys? Welcome to the room. Oh, let's see here.
Everybody in our audience gets a chance to ask their questions to the president.
Hmm.
One of the things, I guess, of having, I know it's socially distant, but it's also incredibly intimate.
2
Have
box.
people in the room with you and the president. So what can we expect to hear? I mean, on a lot of these issues, Anderson, he has a challenge, right? The vaccination rollout that's slowing down a little bit from what they hoped a few weeks ago. Lots of questions about.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interest here from people about, their children going to school, about their kids getting vaccinated, family members when they can get vaccinated. It's the questions really, I think, that many people throughout the country have on their minds. Those are the questions we've been seeing.
28 a spot.
And we really do want to try to have this be as much as possible a
he very much likes. He likes being able to talk to people directly. So we'll look forward to watching you in just a little bit. Thanks, Anderson.
Thanks.
All right, so we'll see Anderson in 1 hour with President Biden. Next, despite the disturbing attacks on Asian Americans, now sparking calls for immediate action.
Did you know you can go to libertymutual.com to customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need?
Really? I didn't. Okay, I'm on vibrate.
Only pay for what you need.
Allergies don't have to be scary. Spraying Flonase daily stops your body from overreacting to allergens, healthy and fun. You're good.
There we go. Alright, that should work. Meanwhile, I'll be working on cleaning up everything.
Diarrhea as medicine causes. Whichever the cause, Kaopectate relieves your symptoms. It gives you fast, effective relief of upset stomach and diarrhea. And it doesn't just treat the symptoms, it's right to the source of diarrhea. Kaopectate relieves diarrhea and upset stomach.
We're not saying Daily Harvest will change your life, but we're pretty sure it can make some things easier, like one-handed breakfast. And we can't promise Daily Harvest will be really well 100% of the time, or that it will be the first of many steps to a healthier way of life, or that it will give you more energy to chase your goals, or whatever you want to chase. But we're not saying that. We can say that Daily Harvest takes care of food, so that food can take care of you. So it's a pretty good place to start. Get started today at dailyharvest.com.
Refinancing with Splash.
Yeah, Micker, I'm going to try to get some more, but it's not like something I can do in a day. There's no boxes around here. I'll have to order one online. It might take a week. But I will look and see if I can get some, because I would like to have another one. I was thinking about getting one more of the first one, too. That's in my works.
Assaulting an Asian man because of his race. Comes after an alarming rise in unprovoked violent attacks against Asian Americans.
Waiting on some property to sell. Once I do that, then I have extra money I can use to bring in some more product. So I will get more. Be patient.
Turning 84 was a milestone for Charlotte Napoxy and his family. His San Francisco grandfather had just received the vaccine and stayed healthy through the pandemic, walking for an hour in his neighborhood every morning. He was on his walk when an unprovoked attacker ran across the street. How did you find out what happened to your father?
The officer answered the phone, and then he told us like his father got assaulted. He got injury very bad, about bleeding, and he never wake up again. I never see him again.
A 19-year-old suspect is charged with murder and elder abuse. Tanapaxi's family calls it something else.
He said it's driven by economics. This was driven by hate.
Ratanapaxi's death is part of a surge in reported attacks against Asian Americans during the pandemic. A man walked up behind a 91-year-old man and threw him to the ground. One of more than 20 assaults and robberies like this one. In Oakland's Chinatown. In Portland, more than a dozen Asian-owned businesses in recent weeks have been vandalized. These incidents are not new. In New York, the MTA retweeted this video of what they called racism. This man sprayed Febreze at an Asian American on the subway at the start of the pandemic, prompting an NYPD hate crime investigation. A coalition has tracked more than 2,800 anti-Asian hate incidents between March and December of last year, like this one at a California restaurant. For the election, this man invoked President Trump. The then president's words?
Yeah, that's crazy. People are so stupid.
Cheese truck says this group of Bay Area volunteers operate escorts for the elderly and offering a bridge to those who may not be enough power to talk to police.
Yeah, let me look and see what those are going for, Maker. Give me a second here.
Screaming, spit on us, but we just walk away. She won't do that anymore. You gotta be proud about you protect a lot of other people in this city or the whole country.
Now, the police have not charged the suspect in her case and what happened with her father because it's so difficult. Charged him with a hate crime because it's so difficult to prove that it is indeed a hate crime. He has been charged with murder and elder abuse. Something important to remember, Aaron, is that activists believe that the real number of hate incidents nationally may be higher because we're dealing with an immigrant community who is often fearful to report. Aaron?
That is just horrific. Watching. Oh my gosh. All right, Kim, thank you very much. And thanks for joining us. Como Prime Time is on now. Special time tonight because of the town hall. Let's hand it over to Chris.
All right, thank you, Aaron. I am Chris Cuomo, and welcome to Primetime. If Boss right, I'm in Coop's slot tonight. Why? Our big man, Anderson Cooper, is in Wisconsin for the big CNN town hall with President Joe Biden. It begins 1 hour from now, but we just received word that the president has landed in Wisconsin. Now, the big question...
All right, let's see. 2020 draft. Bowman first draft. Draft first edition hobby. Here we go.
There now, this will be his first official trip as president. 4 weeks in, he's taking the pitch for his $1.9 trillion
Woo! $575 a box for that stuff. Now. So let's see. The 24 packs.
Hard hit by the pandemic. Now, this is all a lead-up to the House vote that is expected on the package next week. The Biden presidency will be defined in large part by his job on the pandemic, but also whether he can help us move.
It's going to put him around $30 a pack.
His predecessor's ghost is still haunting.
If I buy one of those.
Trump's silence was strategic. Trial's over, so is the silence. He is now in war mode on his own.
Yeah, it's about $5 a pack higher now than when I bought it.
Here's what he said. In part, I'm not going to show you his entire thing. If you want to see it, you go find it for yourself. Mitch is a dour, sullen, and unsmiling political hack. He will never do what he needs to be done or what is right for our country. Trump is demanding 100% loyalty from all in his ranks. Even McConnell's manipulation of the impeachment trial and voting to acquit falls short. Why? Well, in a new op-ed, McConnell did say, I was defending the Constitution, not Trump, with that acquittal. Our job wasn't to find some way anyway to inflict a punishment. The Senate's first and foundational duty was to protect the Constitution. Yeah, and that's why your duty was to hold the trial. And that's why your duty was to be impartial. And that's why you took the oath with your hand at God. And then had members of your caucus meeting with the defense on a regular basis. Look, in its entirety, McConnell's argument is bogus. It does nothing to change reasonable minds about his obvious toxic political play. It's also not enough for those going full Trump. Not just Trump himself, but like Senator Ron Johnson. Listen to this.
That's, Leader McConnell's opinion. I don't believe it represents the vast majority of Republican senators. When the leader of the Senate conference speaks, he has to understand what he says reflects on all of us.
Okay, I can get you that. Hang on just a second.
This from the guy who suggested the Trump insurrection was...
The next baseball is Heritage, which is around the 1st of March. There might be some Panini stuff in between. I think Donders is coming out pretty soon. But we won't do any case breaks on that. I'll get some boxes, though.
State Republican parties are also taking action against lawmakers who dared to hold Trump to account for the worst political violence in decades. The Pennsylvania GOP could be censuring Senator Toomey next. Why? Hear from them. We did not say that right thing or whatever he said he was doing. So you sent him there to do the wrong thing? Republicans who don't understand that in a democratic republic, you actually do elect a senator to vote their conscience. Now, will this party's Trump purity...
Let's see here. I need...
efforts to save the country from the pandemic? Let's go to the better minds. David Gregory and Charlie Dent. Charlie, I start with you. Fully mentioned conservative, Republican, former member of Congress. What do you make of Trump's backlash and what this means for McConnell?
All right, release calendar. Today is the 16th. Tomorrow is the 17th. Certified basketball comes out tomorrow. I do not have any of that crap ordered. I may try to pick a box or two up, but I don't think that's worth buying, personally. It doesn't last very long either, and it's real expensive this year. Star Wars Signature Series, that's the 8x10s. 1920 Upper Deck The Cup Hockey. So it's still last year's, but it's the high dollar stuff. Friday, Freezing Chain Structure Decks. Shining Fates Pokemon comes out. That's going to be nuts at all the stores. Also, Panini Limited Football comes out Friday. And Topps Formula One Dynasty Racing. 1 card per pack, couple $100 a pack. That comes out this week also. Next week, on the 24th, Garbage Pail Kids Food Fight. Onyx Nimbus Collection Baseball. That is a secondary company. Sports King Volume 2 Hobby. And Marvel Black Diamond Upper Deck. That is, I'm not sure what that is. The 26th, next week, Panini Prism EPL Soccer, Leaf Flash Baseball. The 26th is also Panini Plates and Patches Football. 2021 Panini Donders Basketball. And 2021 Leaf Pearl Hockey. And let's see. The 3rd of March is Donders Baseball. Upper Deck Clear Cut Hockey, Revolution Basketball. The 5th is Panini One Football. That's the 1 card per pack. They're going to be something stupid like $700 or $800 each this year. I'll pass. And Donders Choice Basketball. Then the 10th is Upper Deck Series 2 Hockey, Absolute Memorabilia Basketball, Upper Deck Series 2 Hockey Retail and Blasters. Opening Day Baseball on the 17th. Inception Baseball on the 17th. Where do they bump Heritage? Heritage has been bumped back to the 19th of March now, so about a month away. So we're going to get Opening Day Baseball 2 days before Heritage Baseball. So I need to get some of that coming in. So nothing soon. We're about 4 weeks away from a good football. We will have a little bit of basketball and a little bit of other weird stuff in before that. Maybe some Series 2 hockey and stuff too, I think. So we'll see how that goes. But that's really about it, guys. There's just not a whole lot coming out anytime soon. I mean, there's not any really good football stuff. Plates and Patches is okay, but not for what they're asking for it. Donders Basketball will probably be all right, but I think the hobby is going to be ridiculous again. So we'll be watching for that. Revolution is usually pretty good. And then the Absolute Memorabilia Basketball will be pretty cool too. Comes out on the 10th. So really nothing the next couple of weeks. I guess Plates and Patches Football on the 26th. And Certified Basketball tomorrow. So really, we got Series 1 for like 4 weeks, guys. There's not much else.
Wants to deal. They're going to deal on a margin, Steve. If they want to drive this through, because they've got a constituency to do that, and they feel like going big at it and will pay off.
Oh, hey, I did. The local store, Target, had that new limit 3 per person. What? Why? It's $100 box. There's nothing in it. Oh, that is ridiculous. $1,200 for a hobby? Okay, people have lost their minds. Those guys are not that good. There is not one player this year's thing that warrants $1,200 on basketball. I'm sorry. I would say don't buy it. Nobody buy that crap. That is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Even last year's wasn't that much. It was like $300. Lord. $1,200 for hobby basketball. That doesn't surprise me, though. There's a bunch of idiots out there that'll spend the money on it. Let me see. $20-21 basketball. Isn't that crazy? $1,200. $30 a hobby pack, and the guy's already sold 57 of them. Are people just stupid or what?
People told you didn't pay for it. People told you it was going to balloon the deficit. People told you it wouldn't do for the economy what the Republicans were saying it would do. They're right. Anyway, this is politics. We'll see how the president does tonight on the big stage. David Gregory, Charlie Dent, as always, thank you for the straight take. Appreciate you. Minutes away now from our exclusive CNN presidential town hall with Joe Biden. You know what? It's not hype. Of course, we're enthusiastic. We're happy to have it here on CNN. Have our main man, Anderson Cooper, moderating this. But it really matters. We're in the middle of a crisis. This president
And $825 for an optic football box.
And he's got to get out there and make the case. How will he be received? What will be the feel after tonight? What will be the feel in that room? What issues and how will he pitch them to people? How will he make people feel
Unbelievable.
about their responsibility and about their chances
Totally unbelievable.
for them to get back? That is his duty of persuasion. Can he do it?
All right.
Milwaukee with a preview. Next.
Anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? Big Sky, what's up, buddy? Jordan and Mick are talking. I got 4 more people. I'm sure John's there. Got several other people in the background. Hey, I saw your scoops and stuff from Targets yesterday, Big Sky. I'm sure they're going to have those all over the country. I did see those Limit 3 signs at the store I went to today here, so it is across the country. It looks like they're doing it in every store. They're going to limit 3 per customer. All right. 10 spotter on 2 hobby boxes of 2021 Series 1. $28, 10 spots, 3 random teams per spot. 8 spots left. One for Mecker and one for John. Something to play with. Those boxes that big ATL opened up the other day were pretty good. I'll be right back.
Like how nice it is to switch and save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing whether this happened, or this happened, or this, or this. We've seen and covered it. So call 1-800-FARMER to switch your auto policy, and you can save an average of $470. Get a quote today. We are farmers.
I've been on due for 4 months and I've lost 19 pounds.
It made me realize that I never really learned how to eat right. This doesn't feel restrictive. It feels like a true lifestyle change.
Visit noom.com and lose the weight for good.
To support a strong immune system, your body needs your teeth. Centrum helps your immune defenses every day with vitamin C, D, and zinc. Season after season. Ace your immune support with Centrum.
Your next celebrity cruise is ready for takeoff. With our biggest air offer ever. Save on every flight, from every gateway, on every sailor. And with drinks, Wi-Fi, and tips always included for everyone, you have everything you need for an unforgettable vacation. Celebrity Cruises. Sail beyond.
Hi, so you're the scientist here. Does my Aveeno Jelly Moisturizer really make my dry skin healthier and even day?
It's true, Jen. This prebiotic oat formula moisturizes to help prevent dry skin.
Impressive. Aveeno. Healthy. It's our nature. Try the body wash too.
To understand Italy, you need to look at the food. The glorious food. Come with me as I taste the flavors of the land and sea to discover what the food tells us about the past and the present.
A new CNN original series. Stanley Tucci, Searching for Italy. Sundays at 9.
Laban freed the slaves.
But it's a lot more complicated than
We are moments away from a big night here on CNN. Our town hall with President Biden in Wisconsin. 46th president hoping to make inroads with the American people on his nearly $2 trillion coronavirus relief plan. Let's bring in Caitlin Collins. Caitlin, it's good to have you out there. Why Wisconsin?
Well, of course, it's a key battleground state. It's a state that President Biden won by less than a percentage point. So this is the White House is choosing to have this here. This is where he's coming in. It's his first time interacting with voters, Chris, since he took office, directly answering their questions. Of course, he is going to try to use this opportunity, according to the White House, to pitch that economic relief plan that is being crafted right now in the halls of Congress. And it's been after this culmination of him trying to sell Republicans on it and Democrats, meeting with both of those sets of lawmakers in the Oval Office. But tonight, the White House says he is trying to sell it directly to voters. And of course, you've got to look at the context surrounding all of this, which is that it still doesn't have any congressional support in Washington from Republicans so far. That's a decision the White House implied today that those Republican lawmakers could come to regret voting against a big coronavirus relief bill. But also, it's still got to go on to the Senate after it goes to the House. There are Democrats who are still divided over what they want the final version of this to look like, including that $15 federal minimum wage increase. So it's still not clear what the final result of this is going to look like, Chris. But President Biden is going to be hearing from voters tonight on what their concerns are, not just about this, but also potentially vaccine distribution.
Quick follow. Any word from the White House that there's going to be more of this?
Box, not case. Box. $11.95 is what they're asking them on eBay for them. Not a case. I'd buy it at $1,200 a case. It's 20 box cases. No, they are literally just ripping people off at that price. That is ridiculous. Unridiculous craziness. Not realistic in any way, shape, or form would that stuff be worth that kind of price. Oh, goodness.
Federal health officials and state health officials have been talking about because it hasn't been authorized by the FDA yet. We should be clear about that. But it is one of it is a single shot vaccine. It is not one that requires 2 doses like the
All right. How's everybody doing tonight?
But here's the catch. We are now hearing from federal health officials that that rollout of how quickly that's going to be out there is going to be slower than anticipated. They believe that once it was authorized, they would have somewhere in the single.
Tell you what, I've sorted enough Series 1 for a while. 4 cases in 2 days.
They were expecting somewhere between maybe 20 and 30 million doses of that vaccine starting in April. Now they think, Chris, it's going to be fewer than 20 million. And that makes a big difference.
There are a lot of nice cards in it, though.
Who said just last week he thought by April it could be essentially open season where anyone who wanted a vaccine could get one. Now today when he was on CNN, he is pushing that timeline. He says to mid-May to late May to early June for what that's going to look like. So of course that so many people want to know when they're going to be able to get this vaccine.
That is a question the country over. Everything is so different, not just by state, but by community. Caitlin Collins, thank you very much for being with us on a big night. All right, so straight ahead, after this show, we're going to have this first CNN town hall with President Biden in his first trip as president. Of course, only here. Now, you're not going to want to miss our next guest. He just filed the first civil action against Trump over the Capitol attack.
Let's see.
Democrat on a lawsuit that could pave the way for many others or not. Interesting conversation. Next.
I think the sketchy website I bought this turtle from stole all my info. Ooh. Have you looked on the bright side? Does it ever hold you responsible for unauthorized purchases on your card? That's my turtle.
Yeah.
Discover something brighter. This is Fracture.
Seriously? So, Big Sky, how many are you getting? I got 0 on my allotment. Hell, I'd like to see one. Of course, if I find any, I'm probably going to open them. You got it. 20 or 40?
Innovative technology that provides real-time visibility. Ever better is not a tech. It's our status. Discover how
20. I was going to say, I think I'd sell those as quick as you can.
Feel the cool rush of Claritin Cool Mint chewables.
Yeah, I know. It's going to. Well, it's just got to. It's getting ridiculous.
Feel the clarity and live Claritin Cool.
You know, that's why I'm not really worried about, since we got cut so bad on that stuff in the summer. I don't feel so bad about it. I mean, I'm pretty happy only getting 3 boxes of that weird-ass hockey and stuff that may or may not sell. And only having to buy 3 of the soccer boxes. You know, it could be really good stuff, but it could also be stuff that sits on the shelf forever, too. Certainly stuff I wouldn't have ordered otherwise. I guess it is what it is. Let's see. Certified basketball is $500 a box. Hobby. Dynasty Formula 1 sold out, so no prices on it. My goodness, they haven't even brought the stuff out yet, and Shining Fates Pokemon is $155 a trainer box. It sells for $41 at the retail stores. So, of course, that stuff's going to go nuts. Panini Limited Football Hobby, $400 a box pre-sale. Last year I bought a case for $1,800. This year it's $56. Yeah, I'd sell it all. I wouldn't keep any of it. I'd sell every bit of it and get your money because it won't be there later. Wish I could get some.
We're minutes away from history. First town hall for Joe Biden's presidency. In Wisconsin, he is making the case directly to people in that hard-hit state that his relief bill is the right way and that they must take the pandemic seriously and take it on together. Anderson Cooper, our man, will be hosting it only on CNN, straight up at 9 p.m. Eastern. Now, while that's going on,
Plates and patches is $3.75 a box this year. Yeah, they're out of stock on the Donners basketball, so no price on it.
of the legal variety. He is now facing a civil lawsuit accusing him of conspiring with Rudy Giuliani as well as with hate groups at the Proud
Oh my Lord.
all together to incite the January
$500 a box for Revolution basketball. That's those little $80 boxes last year. Now they're $500. Pass on that.
Benny Thompson filed the suit in his personal capacity. The NAACP is representing Thompson in court.
And they're wanting $150 a box for Donners baseball.
Why this way?
Not a chance.
Well, it's an option that's available to us, and clearly the actions of January 6th.
$600 a box for one card in Panini One football.
If we are successful
One card, $600 bucks.
and hold those individuals accountable, I think from a punitive standpoint, we'll put them out of business.
$150 a box, $3,000 a case,
Riotous activity.
20 box case.
Because people disagree with the outcome of an election. People should not have overrun the Capitol to stop the confirmation of the election. That's just not who we are. So my lawsuit,
Yeah, I paid $200 for the one box I bought last year, and that was $100 higher than the year before.
to this day,
Not a chance. I hit my LT out of 25 last year for 200, and they only sell for like 125. So I kept it, of course.
For the audience, there's a concept called standing, which means Benny Thompson and his private
I just don't get these prices at all.
What is your right to sue these parties for what happened on January 6th?
well, I was in the gallery at the time it was the confirmation of the
Oh boy. It's going to be a long year, guys. Hope everybody's got lots of money.
that process. The Capitol was raided. Individuals broke through security, broke windows, broke doors. Someone ultimately was killed. For
Chubb rookies
all those kind of things. And I'm carrying out
or those Panini ones? Oh, nice. There you go. Well, you knew he was going to be good. He's a good running back.
spurred on by Trump and Giuliani and his other
How'd you like to open that for $200 and get a $25 auto?
members of Congress from doing their constitutional duty.
The KKK Act is a very interesting mechanism. It was meant to provide civil remedies for federal officers who were kept from doing their job. And so therefore, you have to make the point that Trump didn't do his job in his official capacity because of his intentions towards insurrection. So in the lawsuit, you say Trump delayed delivering his incendiary remarks to the crowd at the Ellipse in order to afford the defendant Proud Boys an opportunity to arrive at the Capitol and overcome its initial defenses. How do you prove that?
Well, I think we'll prove it in court. One of the broke the window with a shield. It's clear from the photos that we have. So we'll have our day in court. I'm clear. This insidious behavior played out.
20. Let's see. Prism basketball last year. $2,400 a box for Prism Choice, and Fast Break is 26.
Come to Washington, indicated that it was going to be wild, and in his speech just before people left that area, he encouraged them to go to the Capitol.
I understand. I understand it, and I covered it. But your burden is different. Your burden is to show that he delayed in a way to give opportunity and advantage
Unbelievable.
to who you name as defendants. Do you have proof that he delayed?
We absolutely have. We've provided in court, and that's why we're pursuing it, and like we are, I'm convinced that he actually.
Let's see what they're doing for these.
We're bringing this action. I look forward to having my day in court.
The KKK Act, obviously, that is the name that was born out of that time.
Yeah, right now Bowman Hobby is $249 a box, and Jumbo is $469 a box. I think I got it a little bit cheaper than that.
When it comes to white fear and white hate.
No, it probably won't. I've already ordered some.
By the people breaking into.
Although, don't expect it to get too high, Jordan. That's not one of the favored products. It'll probably get to $129.
Confederacy that was fought over slavery. So people coming in calling
It's releasing August 14th this year.
in the United States Capitol. We can't condone this kind of action, and we have to put a stop to it. One of the ways we can put a stop to this kind of action is by taking those individuals to court. And if the court sees our way, they'll have to pay. So clearly, we're looking to have our day in court. I appreciate the NAACP joining me and representing me in this instance. They're the oldest civil rights organization in the country. They fought for fairness and equal opportunity. And so this is one of those measures. I disagree with Trump, but I'm not going to try to break in the White House or anything else. We settle our differences in America at the ballot box. The Trump administration could not accept defeat. They went to court, lost in pretty much every court in the land, but they still somehow wanted to stop the election, the confirmation of the election, and we just can't have it. So this lawsuit is my humble way of giving accountability to somebody who has put a real stain on the reputation of the United States of America. We can't go to other countries talking about the goodness and greatness of our country when they see people overrunning hallowed halls of the Capitol. This is not who we are. And so we have to.
As a human reminder of that, your reputation precedes you. Anybody can Google your name and see where you've come from and what you've been through. What was it like for you in there? How bad did you think it was going to get?
Well, it was getting bad, and as time went on, when we saw the vice president, the speaker, and other leadership being whisked out of the area, and the only people left were members of Congress who didn't have security details, and we could hear the glass breaking, the doors being beat on. We could see the furniture being moved to block the doors from the people who had broken in. My wife called me, wanted to know what was going on, and I really couldn't tell her because I'm unable to see on the outside. She said, well, I'm looking at people breaking into the Capitol right now. I said, well, I'm inside the Capitol, but I can't see it. So for that time, all of us, with our gas masks on, trying to follow the advice of security to get out of this area, but we were unable to get out because of the rioters who had broken in and tried to stop the counting of the electoral college votes. You know, Emmett Till, a 14-year-old young man, was killed in my district, Medgar Evers. going through my mind at that time that is it coming to an end over an election? I thought elections were a way that civilized people resolve their differences. But obviously,
Yeah, I know. I can't remember where I picked it up for, but it'll be higher by the time it comes out, I'm sure.
I resent that.
Hopefully I can pick some of that up a little bit cheaper.
What I experienced that day, and I'm prepared to go to court and defend that greatness.
Well, Congressman, I'm very sorry what you had to go through that day. I'm even more sorry for what your wife must have experienced, because she knew what kind of people were breaking in there and what they were saying, and she knew you were on the inside. Send her our best and our regards, and we'll see what happens with your lawsuit, Congressman. Penny Thompson, thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that too, Jordan. It's just all too expensive, guys. It's just ridiculous. They're taking all the fun out of it for the collectors.
President Biden's going to take it all on.
Yeah, you're better off if you've got a card and Panini one you want, buy it on eBay because you'll get it a lot cheaper, less hassle than trying to open a box and get one. And if you want a Herbert, just go buy the card. You'll pay less money. All right. So, what's everybody up to?
What will the president do? He's covering it. Stay with CNN.
Yeah. All right, got 8 spots left in a 2-box. Oh, yeah, I know who they are. They've been around forever, Jordan. That guy has been around forever.
You could not think about it at all. This is autonomous cybersecurity. This is SentinelOne. It's a new day for veteran homeowners. Home mortgage rates are at record lows, which is great news for veterans with VA loans. That's me. Now's the time to use your VA Streamline Refi benefit you earned with your service. One call to New Day USA can save you $3,000 a year.
That's me.
With no income verification and no appraisal. VA Streamline Refi from New Day USA. Call 1-844-964-1477.
Jordan, they're fine. I mean, they're just like anybody else. He's just been around for a long, long time. You're better off buying from your local guy and having him get you stuff. That way he'll still be there when you need something. Hey, did you finish opening your case of Jumbo yet? What was the best card you've gotten so far? I'm going to grab a drink real quick. Be right back, guys. Oh.
We thought we had planned carefully for our retirement.
But we quickly realized we needed a way to supplement our income.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify to sell your policy. Don't cancel or let your policy lapse without finding out what it's worth. Visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if your policy qualifies. Or call 1-800-481-1700. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
Comfort. Only on CNN. President Joe Biden, his first town hall as president. Live with Anderson Cooper. Joe Biden.
Gotcha. Well, I'm proud of you for only opening 4 or 2 of them. I would have already broke the whole case. Well, I haven't opened the box for myself at all. This is not out of the case that I picked up. Those are all numbered boxes. This came from the same spot as these 2. So since nobody else is wanting to do anything, and I haven't opened anything but 2 hanger boxes of Target so far, I'm going to open one for myself. So good luck to me. My very first box of Series 1. Probably the only one, too. I'm going to wait for the rest of the retail. I got this one for me. Oh, that's nice.
In about 20 minutes, President Joe Biden is going to take the first step to trying to get this nation to refocus on the pandemic and see it as a collective.
It's right there. And there are 8 spots left, guys. 8 spots.
All of Biden's presidency. After a week of impeachment proceedings, just the call of Trump, we all need to take stock
Tavares.
and fight for our lives. Nick Watt.
Actually, I'm not even going to worry about pulling because I do want to see. I want to try one of these boxes and see if it'll actually build a set by itself. Hey, Kevin, what's up, man? You doing all right? The word is 28 a spot. 3 teams per 28, 2 boxes. All cards ship. I just want to see if anybody's awake out there. 8 spots left, guys. Nobody pays anything until it's full. Yeah, the 2 up on the thing that we're doing the break with, and this one came from a local shop in Plainfield, little town south of us. Bregman home run. Hey, that's a lot of snow, dude. Good job. Javier, Howard, Abreu, Scooball, Eddie Murray. Y'all thinking of moving? Or getting your first house? Pearson, Taylor. Oh, I imagine. We got about 7 more inches last night. Fortunately, it was the blowing type, so not all of it was, I know, right? Ripken Jr., 70 years of tops. Well, it's actually a pretty good time to do it right now because housing is cheap right now in most places, especially if you live up here in the north. $2.99, Bobby Dahlbeck. Nice. Rookie Bobby Dahlbeck orange. Out of $2.99 for the Red Sox. There's a decent card. That one looks pretty centered and clean, too. That'll work. Johnny Bench.
the overall allocation of these vaccines
Hewer.
go up. The down is that there are many communities, and particularly hard-hit communities, that may not always have access to these pharmacies. So you don't want to allow people to go to pharmacies.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
In places where,
That'll work.
don't have any large pharmacies are located, can still get access to the vaccine.
Trista McKenzie, Rook.
The model that a lot of people are now paying attention to, got to see if that works in other states around the country.
Well, houses are still expensive, but they're a lot cheaper right now in comparison to, say, 20 years ago. When the interest rates were real high. Through the years, Verlander. Base. Silver, Sonny Gray, Reds. Be careful what you wish for, my friend. You still have to clean it, because the wife won't touch it. Rizzo, Cubs. Your cave, you clean. I spent 2 hours this afternoon cleaning up down here from all the packing. Alvarez, Casey Mize, Sixto, Alex Verdugo, Reds, Red Sox. Nice one. Ian Anderson, rookie. I don't think so. The second card in that pack was Casey Mize. There's Mountcastle right there. Right behind Hubert Ruiz. Like I said, I'm going to sort the whole set out, so I'm not pulling rookies. I want to see if I can get a set out of a box. Olivares. Yeah, there's one we didn't see too much of. Willie McCovey for the Giants. Yep. Yeah, it looks like I get a jersey. And I get one I can sell local. Javi Baez. Major League material. So that works. Maybe this one will have an auto in it too. Just like the last box did. Casey Mize, 86. Mitch White's. Harrison, Joey Bartz, Carlson. Belak. Lindor, Indians, 70 years. Third one of those. Mejia and Niedert. Last 6. Pache right on top. Whitley. You know, we still haven't pulled a bicentennial card out of 4 cases. Mike Trout. And Max Scherzer, 86. Jimenez, Madrigal, Rick. Oh, nice. Matt Showmaker for the Blue Jays out of 25. Second camo. But we're getting more camos than we are 76s. Go figure. Maybe they put all the 76s in the 10s. That'd be fun. Matt Showmaker, pitcher for the Blue Jays. Ah, that could have been something good. Caprellian, Bomb, rookies. CC Sabathia, stars in service. Kuna in the good spot. Last pack. Dahlbach rookie. And Giancarlo Stanton, 86. All right, and the Chrome cards. Got a parallel. Luzardo, Harper, Keibert Ruiz, catcher for the Dodgers, and Ronald Acuna, green to 99. There we go. Yeah, I'll bring $20, $10, $20, somewhere in there. Parallels are pretty, though. Even the green ones look good. Green Acuna. All right. Yeah, I wonder what they are in the hobby. Let me see what they are in the hobby boxes. I just hit one. Memorial Day camo, 1 in 2134. Independence Day are 1 in 703. So these are 1 in 2134 for the camos. Golds are 1 in 27, so not even one a box this year on the numbered ones. That's crazy. You know, I may do it right here in front so everybody can see me do it. I am curious. I'm really curious to see if you can get a set out of just a regular hobby box. So I will be more than happy to do that, John, because nothing else is going on right now. And nor am I surprised. It is okay. Anyway, I really like the cards. Nice Casey Mize. For a jersey, decent. Pretty much hit exactly what I was supposed to hit. No clue what the odds on the 299s are. That's a good one, Bobby Dahlbeck. And not. You should have picked up a couple of boxes from Mike to go through some of that crap that Rita was griping about under the tables on the old stuff. You should have taken some of that stuff home and gone through it for him. See if there was anything good. She would probably let you do that just to get it out of the store. I certainly would. Alright, guys. We got 8 spots left in a 2-box break. $28 a spot. Get you 3 teams random. Everybody gets a shot at the big guys. All right.
Well, I think the chance that it's done through this special process reconciliation is almost 100%. It doesn't mean that it would have to be only Democrats, but it means that it is much more likely that it will be only Democrats. It just depends on what.
Hey, John, even the gas company down there, I just got an alert saying, please reduce your natural gas use. Small actions make big impacts. So they must be having trouble getting natural gas out for heat, too. I'm getting alerts for the house down in Fort Worth. Man, guys, they are getting it brutally hammered in Texas right now. They're not designed to have Chicago weather down there. And it's pretty bad. All right, 8 spots left, guys. Let's do it. If you want to. I don't think anything else retail. I'm not going to get any more retail boxes for about 10 days, is what they told me. Just the blasters were the only things they've gotten so far. The others due in around the 24th, 25th. So by the end of the month, and then they'll send us a whole bunch. There we go. 8 spots left. All right, let's see what we get. This should go really quick compared to what I was doing.
Yeah.
8 spots left.
But this is politics. This is his first step out of the House. And this is going to be also a lot about style. Joe Biden is going to be looked at very closely tonight by critics and also people looking for a reason to believe in something better as well. How big are the stakes?
And talking to people around the president leading up to this tonight, they understand that. Of course, so much of it is about substance. But as you said, it's exciting to do something like this because, as you well know, Chris, he is genuinely a people person. And although this is going to be socially distant and not a typical town hall where he can actually get face to face like he enjoys doing, it's going to be something closer than being in the White House and just having people work for him around him. It's quite different. But he also understands that he's going to get tough questions.
Right.
And that's something they say that he's looking forward to.
Hey, Graham, what's up, man? Oh, I opened 1 box of Hobby for myself, and I'm going to sort it and see if we can build a set out of 1 box. I just was wanting to see if it was possible. and how far off they were. So we shall see. And it's 8 o'clock and time for the town hall with our new president.
Presidential town hall, the first with President Joe Biden. I'm Anderson Cooper. President Biden is just 4 weeks into his presidency, facing multiple crises.
So 8 spots left, guys. 8 spots left.
Millions out of work right
Doing
now,
two
and a nation dangerously divided.
hobby box, 10 spot, 3 teams per, $28.
The president will be answering questions from the American people on his first official trip since taking office. Some of the commissioners here voted for him, some did not. The president and I will not be wearing masks on this stage. He, of course, has been vaccinated. Over the past several weeks, I have repeatedly tested negative for coronavirus as recently as yesterday and this morning as well. We will, however, be keeping our distance from one another, and the audience is very limited, socially distanced, and all wearing masks when they're seated. With that, I want to welcome the 46th President of the United States, President Joe Biden.
Hey, how are you, sir? Good to see you again. Joe, how are you? Good to be back, man.
Yeah, it's nice to see you, sir.
And you know you enjoy being home with the baby more. Not only hear that.
I do, yes. Yeah, he's 9.5 months, so I'm very happy.
No. Everybody knows I like kids better than people.
I saw a picture of you with your grandson recently.
That's right.
So we got a lot of questions in the audience. We have about 50 or so people here. They're all socially distanced. We have some folks who voted for you, some folks who did not. And we're going to get as many questions in as possible. Before we get to that, I just want to start with a couple of just big picture questions about the pandemic and where we are right now.
Sure.
New cases of COVID-19, hospitalizations have fallen by half in the last month, so of new cases, that's the good news. There's this potential threat, potential surge from the variants coming down the pike, potentially. When is every American who wants it going to be able to get a vaccine?
By the end of July this year. We came into office, there was only 50 million doses that are available. We have now, by the end of July, we'll have over 600 million doses, enough to vaccinate every single American.
When you say by the end of July, do you mean that they will be available or that people will have been able to actually get them? Because Dr. Fauci...
They'll be available.
They'll be available.
They'll be available.
Okay.
Here, look. We got into office and found out the supply, there was no backlog. I mean, there was nothing in the refrigerator, figuratively and literally speaking. And there were 10 million doses a day that were available. We've upped that in the first 3 weeks that we were in office to significantly more than that. We've moved out, went to the Pfizer and Moderna and said, can you produce more vaccine and more rapidly? They not only agreed to go from 200 to 400, and they've agreed to go to 600 million doses, and we got them to move up the time because we used the National Defense Act to be able to help the manufacturing piece of it to get more equipment and so on.
So if end of end of July, they're available to actually get them in the arms of people who want them, that will take, what, a couple more months?
Well, no, a lot will be vaccinated in the meantime.
Okay.
In other words, it's not all of a sudden 600 million doses are going to appear. And what's going to happen is it's going to continue to increase as we move along, and we'll have reached 400 million by the end of May and 600 million by the end of July. And the biggest thing, though, is you remember when you and I shouldn't say it that way, you remember, but when you and I talked last, we talked about it's one thing to have the vaccine, which we didn't have when we came into office, but a vaccinator. How do you get the vaccine into someone's arm? So you need the paraphernalia, you need the needle, you need the mechanisms to be able to get it in. You have to have people who can inject it in people's arms.
That's been one of the problems, just getting enough people.
Yes, now we have made significant strides increasing the number of vaccinators. I issued an executive order allowing former retired docs and nurses to do it. We have over 1,000 military personnel. The CDC we have gotten the National Guard engaged. So we have significant number of vaccinators, people who'd actually be there. Plus, we rolled up
a considerable number of...
Yes, I did, sir. I sent them with your order today. So you will have penny sleeves and cards. I think yours said 3-day. So you should have it Thursday.
Hi, welcome to Walker.
Assuming it doesn't get stuck in a truck on a highway somewhere.
Yes.
And considering hybrid and virtual school instruction has been in place for nearly a year now.
But I think I sent it priority, so it should go airmail. So you should get it on time.
As a parent of 4 children, I find it imperative that they get back to school as safely as possible.
So yes, I did, and I shipped Jordan's or Louise's penny sleeves also.
Having significant impact on the children and parents as well.
And thank you for the order, Graham.
There are certain things that make
I do appreciate that.
easy to go back to brick and mortar buildings. One, first of all, making sure everybody is wearing protective gear. It's available to students as well as to teachers, the janitors, the people who work in the cafeteria, the bus drivers. And secondly, organizing in smaller pods, which means that's why we need more teachers. Instead of a classroom of 30 kids in it, we have 3 classes in that same of 10 kids each in those. Then I'm making the number up. It's less. It doesn't have to be literally 10. In addition to that, we also have indicated that it is much better, it's much easier to send kids K through 8 back because they are less likely to communicate the disease to somebody else. But because kids in sophomores, juniors, and seniors in high school, they socially...
No problem, man. No problem.
They transmit more than...
Happy to help.
It's harder to get those schools open without...
You're probably going to need them anyway.
Ventilation
I sleeved all the inserts.
and having, for example, school bus drivers.
Yeah, I know.
We gotta make sure that
All the inserts and everything were sleeved. The chrome and the inserts were all sleeved on those brakes. I did not sleeve all of the base cards. Rookies I put in groups and sleeved the group with thick sleeves, so they're all together. Okay, well, that was easy.
The majority of schools in your first 100 days, you're now saying that means those schools may only be open for at least 1 day a week.
No, that's not true. That's what was reported. That's not true. That was a mistake in the communication. But what I'm talking about is I said opening the majority of schools in K through 8th grade because they're the easiest to open, the most needed to be open in terms of the impact on children and families having to stay home.
So when do you think that would be K through 8?
I think
5 days a week.
I think we'll be close to that at the end of the first 100 days. We've had a significant percentage of them being able to be open. My guess is we're going to probably be pushing to open all summer.
Should be able to tell pretty quick, guys. The first 10 were all there. No extras.
I think many of them 5 days a week. The goal will be 5 days a week. Now, it's going to be harder to open up the high schools for the reasons I've said. Just like you notice,
No extras there.
The factor in colleges is much higher than it is in high schools or grade schools.
I want you to meet, this is Justin Elot. He's a high school teacher from Milwaukee. He's a Democrat. Justin, thanks for being with us. What's your question?
What do you teach? I teach English. High school English.
All right, so for the first 30 cards, no dupes, one of each.
Transitions to in-person learning. While there are numerous warnings not to be in large groups or to have dinner parties or small parties, why is it okay to put students and teachers in close proximity to each other for an entire day, day after day? With large class sizes and outdated ventilation systems, how and when do you propose this to occur? And finally, do you believe all staff should be vaccinated before doing so?
Number one, nobody is suggesting, including the CDC in its recent audit report, that you have large classes, congested classes. It's smaller classes, more ventilation, making sure that everybody has masks and is socially distanced, meaning you have fewer students in one room, making sure that everyone from the sanitation workers who work in the laboratories and the bathrooms and do all the maintenance, that they are in fact able to be protected as well. Making sure you're in a situation where you don't have the congregation of a lot of people, as I said, including the school bus, including getting on the school bus. So it's about
needing to be able to socially distance, smaller classes, more protection, and I think the teachers and the folks who work in the school, the cafeteria work, and others, should be on the list of preferred to get.
Graham, if you ever need larger lots of those, just let me know. I do keep 100 package cases of those. Those are available for $88.
Diagnosed with pediatric COPD.
So they run 88 cents a piece by the case.
We're told he has the lungs of a 60-year-old. He does all he can to protect himself. Last month, he even removed himself from the campus of UW-Madison as he feels it's safer and he has less exposure here at home. We've tried all we can to get him a vaccine. I hear of others who are less vulnerable getting it based on far less. Do you have a plan to vaccinate those who are most vulnerable sooner to give them a priority?
Well, the answer is yes, there are. But here's how it works. The states make the decisions on who is in what order. I can make recommendations, and for federal programs, I can do that as President of the United States. But I can't tell the state, you must move such and such a group of people up. But here's what I'd like to do. If you're willing, I'll stay around after this is over. Maybe we can talk a few minutes, see if I can get you some help.
Let me just ask you, though, Johnson & Johnson could be authorized, a new vaccine from them could be authorized in a couple of weeks. That would be a big deal. Bringing a lot more vaccines on, millions of more doses to the supply. Once that happens, given the urgency of these variants, the potential threat from them, should states stop giving priority to certain groups and just open vaccine access for everyone?
Well, it depends on how much they have available. I think there still should be priority groups in case there are not enough for everyone, available to everybody. And look, we don't know for certain. Let me tell you what my team has said.
Okay, not a full set. There's one missing.
The Brazilian strain, the South African strain, strains in London, etc.
Missing 288.
Thus far, there is no evidence that the existing vaccinations available from Moderna and Pfizer do not either make sure that they work as well against the strain in the United States, and there is no evidence that they're not helpful. So if you can get a vaccination, get it whenever you can get it, regardless of the other strains that are out there. There's studies going on to determine is it more communicable, what are the vaccines, do the vaccines not provide helpful protection by getting the vaccine. There is some speculation, and I've got to be very careful here because millions of people are watching this. It may be that a certain vaccination for a certain strain may reduce from 95% to a lower percentage of certainty that it will keep you from getting.
It may not be as effective. Against the variant, but it still will be effective.
So the clear notion is, if you're eligible, if it's available, get the vaccine. Get the vaccine.
I want you to meet
45.
Levy, a Democrat from Milwaukee. She's a registered nurse, former academic dean. She's also currently director of a faith-based nonprofit. Bessie, welcome.
By the way, you've heard me say this before, Becky. There's any angels in heaven. They're all nurses, male and female. Doctors lecture with nurses make you want them. If I can tell you that consumer of health for my family, you're wonderful. Thank you for what you do.
God bless you. Mr. President, hello. My name is Dr. Desi Levy, and my question to you is, considering COVID-19 and its significant impact on Black Americans, especially here in Milwaukee, and thus the exacerbation of our racial disparities in healthcare, we have seen less than 3% of Blacks and less than 5% of Hispanics given the total number of vaccines that have been administered to this point. Is this a priority for the Biden administration, and how will the disparity
There's 231.
And that's both locally and nationally?
Well, first of all, it is a priority, number one.
All right, 8 spots left, guys. 8 spots.
15 wages. Number one.
Or let me know what else you would like to do.
Loses gain experiments, as we not tell you, doctor, over the last 50 to 75 to 100 years in America. So there's a concern about getting the vaccine when it's available or not. But the biggest part of it is access, physical access. That's why last week I opened up, I met with the Black Caucus in the United States Congress and agreed that I would all of the community health centers now, which take care of the toughest of the toughest neighborhoods in terms of illness, they are going to get 1 million doses a week, and how we're going to move forward, because they're in the neighborhood. Secondly, we have opened up, and I'm making sure that
5 short in the 200s.
for over 6,700.
So not a whole,
Because almost everyone lives within.
not a whole set in the hobby box. I haven't had any extras either. No dupes so far.
Like when you got your flu shot. That is also now being opened. Thirdly, I also am providing for mobile vans, mobile units to go into neighborhoods that are hard to get to, because people are for example, even though everyone is within, basically 5 miles of a Walgreens, let's say, the fact is, if you're 70 years old, you don't have a vehicle, and you live in a tough neighborhood, meaning it's a high concentration of COVID, you're not likely to be able to walk 5 miles to go get a vaccine. The other thing we found is, and I'm sorry to go on, but this is really important to me, the other portion is, a lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online to determine how to get in line for that COVID vaccination at the Walgreens or at a particular store. So we're also committed to spend $1 billion on public education to help people figure out how they can get in there. That's we're also trying to set up mass vaccination centers, like places in stadiums and what.
Are you concerned about the rollout of this online? Because it has been incredibly confusing for a lot of people, not just older people. It's younger people just trying to find a place to get a vaccine.
Yes, and I have, because look what we inherited. We inherited a circumstance here where, and now we did a lot in the first 2 weeks, a circumstance where, number one, there weren't many vaccinators. You didn't know where you could go get a vaccine administered to you because there was no one to put it in your arm, number one. Number two, there was very little federal guidance as to say what to look for, how to find out where, in fact, you could go. You can go online, and every single state now has a slightly different mechanism by which they say who's qualified, where you can get the vaccines, and so on. So it's all
8 spots left.
more rationalized in detail.
Let's see if we can't get one done, if y'all want to.
I mean that sincerely. I mean, my grandchildren can use that online, making it look like I'm, the 7th century. But all kidding aside, so this is a process, and it's going to take time. It took us think of what we didn't do, and you and I talked about this during the campaign. We didn't do from the
162.
United States. You're going to inject something in your arm, it's going to go away. You're going to all be done by Easter. We wasted so much time. So much time.
Another question about vaccines. This is Jessica Solis.
158.
From Milwaukee, graphic designer. Jessica, welcome.
Thank you. As we've been talking about, the coronavirus is very real and very scary, and it's especially scary for children who may or may not understand. My children, Layla, 8 here, and my son Mateo, 7 at home, often ask if they will catch COVID, and if they do, will they die? They are watching as others get the vaccine, and they would like to know, when will kids be able to get the vaccine?
Well, first of all, honey, what was your first name? Layla. Beautiful name. First of all, kids don't get COVID very often. It's unusual for that to happen. They don't, and the evidence so far is children aren't the people most likely to get COVID, number one. Number two, we haven't even done tests yet on children as to whether or not there's certain vaccines that work or not work or what is needed. So you're the safest group of people in the whole world, number one. Number two, you're not likely to be able to be exposed to something and spread it to mommy or daddy. And it's not likely mommy and daddy are able to spread it to you either. So I wouldn't worry about it, baby, I promise you. But I know it's kind of worrisome. Are you in first grade? Second grade?
Second.
Oh, you're getting old. Second grade. Well, have you been in school, honey? No. See, that's kind of a scary thing too. You don't get to go to school, you don't get to see your friends, and so what a lot.
2 in that 100.
And big people too.
Elite Extra Edition. All right, Micker. We can do that. You saved me.
Play with your friends and get in the school bus and go to school and everything was normal. And now when things change, people get really worried and scared. But don't be scared, honey. Don't be scared. You're going to be fine. And we're going to make sure mommy is fine too.
You know, let me ask you. Let me ask you, just for folks who are watching out there, there are a lot of people who are scared. There's a lot of people who are hurting. When do you think this pandemic is...
Oh, let's see. What did I do with
get back
those?
to normal?
Well, you know, all the experts, all the committee that I put together.
All right. Now I got to find them.
Researchers in the world, in the United States, are on this committee of mine, headed by Dr. Fauci and others. They tell me be careful not to predict things that you don't know for certain what's going to happen, because then you'll be held accountable. I get that. But let me tell you what I think based on all that I've learned and all that I've studied and all that I think that I know. It's a high probability that the vaccinations that are available today and the new one, Johnson & Johnson, God willing, will prove to be useful, that with those vaccinations, the ability to continue to spread the disease is going to diminish because of what they call herd immunity. And now they're saying somewhere around 70% of people have to constitute. Some people said 50%. But a significant...
All right, Mick, you get the first one out of the new case.
They have been vaccinated and or they've been through it and have antibodies. And so if that works that way, as my mother would say, with the grace of God and the goodwill of the neighbors, that by next Christmas, I think we'll be in a very different circumstance, God willing, than we are today. I think a year from now, when it's 22 below zero here, a year from now, I think that there'll be significantly fewer people having to be socially distanced, have to wear masks, etc. But we don't know.
All right, you get the pick. Which one do you want? 1 through 4. Working across.
We don't know for certain, but it is highly unlikely that by the beginning of next
Give me a 1 through 20.
traditional school year in September, we are not significantly better off than we are today. But it matters. It matters whether you continue to wear that mask. It matters whether you continue to socially distance. It matters whether you wash your hands with hot water. Those things matter. They matter. And that can save a lot of lives while we're getting to this point with the herd immunity.
You've made passing COVID relief bill the focus of your first 100 days. Those are the lights.
Number 7. Right there.
Are you committed to $1.9 trillion, or is that the final number still up in negotiation?
I'm committed to that. Look, here's some of you probably economists, college professors, teachers.
All right, 2 autographs or memorabilia cards. Let's actually get one that's got 2 autos in it. Usually it's 1 auto and 1 jersey. I still think, like it's always like when you get these, you think the boxes are empty. 1 pack. Good luck, Maker. Let's get somebody we know. Juan Bitto, Dominican League prospect.
And it was no, I don't mean it that way, but it was $800 billion. We thought we needed more than that, and we think we did.
Juan Bitto.
Ended up working, but it slowed things up by about, and depending who you talk to, between 6 months and...
Right, Mason Hickman, Cleveland, out of Vanderbilt.
By most economists, including Wall Street firms, as well as think tanks, political think tanks.
Our numbered card out of the University of Texas, Dylan McClain, and actually I think that's for Texas. Yeah, so he's going to Texas. It is 050 of 249. Dylan McClain, pitcher.
I remember you and I talking during the campaign, and you had the former guy saying that, well, we're just going to open things up, and that's all we need to do. We said, no, you got to deal with the disease before you deal with getting the economy going. Well, the fact is that the economy now has to be dealt with, and look at all
Robert Hassel. Robert Hassel jersey, Team USA, 1800 national team. If I remember right, Hassel is a fairly decent player. Anybody remember offhand what team he's on? Where he went? I've heard the name, so I've seen him in other prospect stuff.
I mean, this is the United States of America, for God's sake. We can't deal with that. We promised, look at all the people.
Oh, nice. For the Milwaukee Brewers. Autograph, Elite Extra Edition, Drew Rasmussen. This kid's a brewer.
Trouble if we don't subsidize this in the meantime. Look at all the people who are on the verge of missing, and how many people have missed their last 2 mortgage payments.
Nice. I think that one's pretty good, Mick. Rasmussen is decent. Hassel should be okay.
Look at all the people who've lost their insurance. How many, I'm not asking you to show of hands, how many of you had jobs with corporations or companies that provided health care, the Cobra health care? Well, guess what? The company goes under, and guess what? You lose your health insurance. Well, we need to be making sure you're able to pay for that, so that we keep people moving. So there's a lot.
All right, Mick. Appreciate it, man. Not a bad box.
People say bigger is better now, not spending less.
Not a bad box.
Independent, who supported Donald Trump in 2020. Randy's the co-owner of a woodworking company here in Milwaukee. Randy, welcome.
You're proposing a $15 minimum wage. Given the lower cost of living, particularly in the Midwest, many business owners are concerned that this will put them on a business, forcing them to downsize or cut benefits. How can you instill confidence in small businesses that this will benefit the Midwest business growth?
Well, first of all, the South is not much different than the Midwest in that regard as well. But here's the thing. If you look back over the last 40 years, as minimum wages increased, people haven't, the end result of net employment hasn't changed. The vast majority of the economists, there's studies that show that by increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour, it could have an impact on a number of businesses, whether it be de minimis, etc. Here's the deal. It's about doing it gradually. We're at $7.25 an hour. No one should work 40 hours a week and live in poverty. No one should work 40 hours a week and live in poverty. But it's totally legitimate for small business owners to be concerned about how that changes. For example, if we gradually increased it When we indexed it at 720, if we kept it indexed to inflation, people would be making $20 an hour right now. That's what it would be.
The Congressional Budget Office says that a $15 minimum wage would lift 900,000 people out of poverty, but would also cost 1.4 million people their jobs.
Yes, but there's also, if you read that whole thing about Pinocchios and all the rest, there are also equal number of studies say that wouldn't have that effect. And particularly as you do it in terms of how gradually you do it. So let's say you said you're going to increase the minimum wage from $7.25 an hour between now and the year 2025 to $12 an hour, to $13 an hour. You double someone's pay, and the impact on business would be absolutely diminished, and it would grow the GDP, and it would grow and it would generate economic growth. But it's not illegitimate as a small business person to worry about whether or not increasing it at one fell swoop would have that impact. I do support a $15 minimum wage. I think there is equally as much, if not more, evidence to dictate that it would grow the economy and long run and medium run benefit small businesses as well as large businesses, and it would not have such a dilatory effect. But that's a debatable issue.
I want you to be another small business owner. This is Tim Etchinger, a Democrat from Milwaukee, co-owner of Black Husky Brewing. Tim, welcome.
Thank you. My partner and I own a small brewery in the River West neighborhood of Milwaukee, and we have 9 amazing employees. We rely primarily on selling our beer out of our tap room, and with the pandemic, our business has gone down about 50%. Now, we've relied primarily on loans, grants, as well as our own reserves to survive. However, the new assistance has been too slow, and recently it's gotten more restrictive on how we can apply it. What will you do so that small mom-and-pop businesses like ours will survive over large corporate entities?
Change it drastically. First of all, by making sure we have inspectors general. You may remember when the first bill passed, you may remember there was a guy running saying, what's going to happen is the banks aren't going to lend you the money. They're going to ask you questions. Do you have your credit with us? How many loans do you have with us? What credit cards do you have with us? Because even though they were being underwritten and we bailed their rear ends out last time out, it was too much trouble to lend to you. What did the president do? And I don't want to pick on the president. I'm tired of talking about Donald Trump. Don't want to talk about him anymore. But the last administration spent a lot of time, talking about.
Oh, nice.
There was no need for inspector general.
Oh, the Jersey guy. He's on the Padres. I thought I'd heard that name. Okay, good. And that'll be good that Larkin's joining the Reds broadcast group. That'll be fun. I like him. I liked it when his son was playing for the Rangers.
So what I'm doing is I provide $60 billion for you to be able to make capital investments in order to be able to open safely and make sure you're in a position.
Yeah, they did. He opened his big mouth.
Notice there's been very little.
I don't remember what he said, but they fired him on the spot.
For you all how to safely open your businesses. Yet if you're able to test your employees, if you're able to be in a situation, if you serve people, you have plexiglass dividers, the whole range. If you're able to have everybody with masks and the like, you can do so much to save them, but you don't get that direction. So the money, I guarantee you, is going to go to small businesses with people, and I'm shooting. And by the way, the original definition of small business is 500 or fewer employees. Well, that's not what I mean by small businesses. What we meant by small businesses are mom and pop businesses hold communities together and keep people together. And particularly in neighborhoods where if you don't have a beauty shop, a barber shop, a hardware store, a grocery store, etc., the center of the community begins to disintegrate some. So what I'd like to do is
ouch. Did he mean to say it, or did he just catch, or was he not paying attention?
Is to let you know exactly how that $60 billion is part of.
Wow. Well, that's an oops.
We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll have more questions for the President of the United States, Joe Biden. We'll be right back.
The CNN President
presidential town hall with Joe Biden is brought to you by Carvana.
Oh, gotcha. That happens.
Carvana's had a lot of firsts. 100% online car buying, car vending machines, and now putting you in control of your financing. At Carvana, get personalized terms, browse for cars that fit your
Micker, you still there?
down payment and monthly payment.
What'd you think of the box?
It's what you'll really pay, right down to the penny.
Feedback, please.
Just looking. It only takes a few seconds and it won't affect your credit score. Finally, a totally different way to finance your ride. Only from Carvana, the new way to buy a car.
They're first.
He was probably trying to be funny. Problem is, you shouldn't say stuff like that if you're trying to be funny. It's not like we haven't done it.
That connects them to technology, to each other, and to other agencies. That's why AT&T built FirstNet with and for first responders. The Emergency Response Network authorized by Congress. FirstNet, because putting them first is our job.
My family and I and the Indianapolis Colts have talked about what causes we really want to get behind. And one very important cause we want to be advocates about is mental health awareness. I struggled for a long time, and then I had to go to counseling, and it's okay to not be okay. This thing we're going through life is
Very true.
and there's so many times where, you're going to face so many obstacles, and you're going to feel like the world is against you, and you just got to keep fighting. You got to keep fighting no matter what, and just don't ever give up. Kicking the stigma is our commitment to eradicating and getting...
I agree with you, Jordan. Why would you say it? That's kind of silly. All right, last 100.
Is your body's natural way of cooling itself down. Then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me.
Stanley Tucci, searching for Italy, Sundays at 9. Hey, I'm Nick. We created Gabby because most people overpay for car insurance. Gabby is a free tool that saves you money by finding the best deal. Gabby saves users over $800 a year on average. Go to Gabby.com and stop overpaying for car insurance.
So I had to quit college to help my mom, but I never wanted to quit my dream of a career in IT.
There are 200,000 unfilled IT support roles in America. On Coursera, you can earn Google's IT Support Professional Certificate designed to prepare you for an IT support career in about 5 months for $49 a month. No degree or experience needed.
My job now is amazing. I can spend more time with my family.
Find courses, certificates, and degrees on Coursera. Join for free at Coursera.org. Coursera, your course to success.
This is what real food looks like. Fresh, real meat and veggies. The food dogs were built to eat. The farmer's dog is changing the way we feed our pets. Visit tryfarmersdog.com to see your pet's personalized meal plan.
Bill Gates and Anderson Cooper, AC360, the Bill Gates...
Oh, you went home? And I would agree with that statement too, John. Graham, get the NT box. If you want it that bad.
For being here. Before we get back into the audience, I want to ask just a question about what we just witnessed. Before the Senate voted to acquit the former president in the impeachment trial, you said you were anxious to see if Republican senators would stand up. Only 7 did. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called the rest cowards. Do you agree with him?
I'm not going to call names out. Look, for 4 years, all that's been in the news is Trump. The next 4 years, I want to make sure all the news is American people. I'm tired of talking about Trump. It's Trump.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said that the former president is, quote, still liable for everything he did while he was in office. If your Department of Justice wanted to investigate him, would you allow them to proceed?
I made it clear. One of the things about one of the most serious piece of the damage done by the last administration is the politicizing of the Justice Department. Any of you who are lawyers know whether you're a Democrat, Republican, conservative, or liberal, it has been most politicized in any Justice Department in American history. I made a commitment. I will not ever tell my Justice Department, and it's not mine, it's the people's Justice Department, who they should and should not prosecute. Their prosecutorial decision be left to the Justice Department, not me.
I want you to meet Joe Berkowitz from Shorewood. He's a Democrat, a professor of foreign languages and literature at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Joel, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Anderson. You're not bad for the literature part, but after 5 years of French, I still can't speak the words, so I apologize. I'll teach you some Yiddish sometime. How's that? By the way, I understand a little bit of Yiddish. I'm sure you do.
It would be a Shonda if you didn't.
More seriously, Mr. President, like millions of my fellow citizens, I was shaken by the attack on the Capitol on January 6th and on our democracy more broadly by your predecessor and his followers. While I appreciate efforts being made to bring them to justice, I worry about ongoing threats to our country from Americans who embrace white supremacy and conspiracies that align with it. What can your administration do to address this complex and wide-ranging problem? It's complex, it's wide-ranging, and it's real. I got involved in politics to begin with because of civil rights and opposition to white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, and the most dangerous people in America continue to exist. That is the greatest threat to terror in America, domestic terror. And so I would make sure that my Justice Department and the Civil Rights Division is focused heavily on those very folks, and I would make sure that we, in fact, focus on how to deal with the rise of white supremacy. And you see what's happening in the studies that are beginning to be done, maybe in the university as well, about the impact of former military, former police officers on the growth of white supremacy in some of these. In one of my debates with the former president, I asked him to condemn the Proud Boys. He wouldn't do it. He said, stand by, stand ready, or whatever the phrase exactly was. It is a bane in our existence. It has always been, as Lincoln said, we have to appeal to our better angel. And these guys are not, and women are in fact demented. They are dangerous people.
I want you to meet James Lewis, an independent from Milwaukee. He's a labor attorney. James, welcome.
James, why stand you don't like? Let me know right away, will you?
All right, yeah, all right.
How big is the mountain?
Good evening, President Biden. I was a public defender in Kenosha County when the police shot Jacob Blake. I witnessed the city. I worked in Barron and devastated, and recently District Attorney Michael Gravery denied to prosecute police officers responsible. So my question to you is, what will your administration do to correct these wrongs that we witnessed not just in Kenosha, but across this country? And what will we do to bridge...
Oh, yeah, no kidding. That's true now. Before, you didn't have an issue with it, but now, yeah, that is an issue. Fortunately, most of the big rookies were not redemptions. But I also have an end that I know somebody that works there that can get us the cards. So that's what I was missing out of hobby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14 cards were missing, and there were no dupes. Not one duplicate card in the box. And we're missing 14 for a set, so it had 336 base cards with no dupes. So not quite enough for a whole set. I'm sorry, 316. It's a 330 card set. So 316, no dupes. So not bad. Now all I got to do is figure out how to find those 16 cards.
Separately, I hope it will pass. But thirdly, I think we have to deal with systemic racism that exists throughout society. And one of the things I'm going to recommend there is that we look at an entire panoply of things that affect whether or not people of color primarily are treated.
Got that box, what, $10.99?
From prosecutorial discretion. You know, as a public defender, what by that I mean, what happens is, it'll take too long to go through the whole explanation, but let me try to do it quickly. What happens now is, if you in fact are going to you arrest someone because they had and you want to charge them, you can charge them with robbery or armed robbery. If you charge them with armed robbery, you get a lot more time than if you don't charge with robbery. But if you want to make sure that someone who doesn't know much about their representation is able to do that, you engage in prosecutorial misconduct by offering them to plead to essentially, it's not the same, burglary, which gets them 2 years and probation. And so you don't even get a trial. You plead because you don't have adequate representation. You feel like everything's against you, and you're in trouble. When I did the Sentencing Act, that was designed to make sure we had the same time for the same crime. As chairman of the Judiciary Committee, I looked at all 10 federal districts, and we took 6 months to do it, and found out if you're black and you were your first time offense of being accused of burglary, and maybe you committed it, and you were white, and you did the same exact crime. In all 10 districts throughout the United States of America, the person, don't hold me to the exact numbers, but the percentages, right? If you're a first-time white guy, you get 2 years. You get 7 years if you're black. So in order to make sure that you could not send people to jail for the same crime, I came up with this sentencing commission, which said that everybody who commits the crime has to receive between, instead of 0 to 20 years, you drastically cut down the number of years you could go to jail, but say you have to, if it's a first-time offense, you have to get sentenced between 1.5 and 3 years, okay? Well, what happens is prosecutors use that as a mechanism to send people to jail, and makes it look like we're dealing with a mandatory sentencing, which it wasn't designed to do at all. It was designed to make sure that people were treated fairly. I'm sorry to go on. There's much more to talk about, but
we actually have a related question over here. This is Danny Evans, a pastor in Janesville, who works as a supervisor for the diversion program in Rock County.
It's tough.
Voted for Donald Trump in 2020. He's also a member of the state's 32-member racial disparity task force created in the wake of the Jacob Blake shooting last summer. Danny, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Defund the police is discussed as an option for reforming policing.
I hear you.
There are communities where people live in fear, not of the police, but in fear of the violent gangs who commit crimes in those neighborhoods. How can we be sure that we don't over-legislate police officers so that they can't do their job to protect the law-abiding citizens who live in these high-crime neighborhoods, and yet train officers to police with compassion?
8 spots left. Am I assuming that nobody wants to do any Series 1 right now? Since nobody wants to get in on this. John took one and Micker took one. 8 spots left, $28, 2 boxes of hobby. And I understand if you don't.
We should be in a position where we change the sentencing system to one that relates to a notion of, they should tell me that, is related to making sure that what you do is you focus on making sure that there's rehabilitation. The idea that we don't have people in prison systems learning how to be spending money, learning how to be mechanics, learning how to be cooks, learning how to have a profession when you get out. The idea that we deny someone who served their time access to Pell Grants, access to housing, access to, right now, as you well know, most places you get out of prison, you get $25 on a bus ticket. You end up back under the bridge exactly where you were before. And the fact is that the concern in many minority communities is black on black, Hispanic on Hispanic, not just that.
All right, Graham.
There has to be much more serious.
We'll chat about it.
How can I say? Much more serious determination.
I will be doing cases of NT this next year. We did one this year, and I'm going to get a couple next year. I like it. I think it's fun. I'd love to get a football one, except they're too damn expensive.
What are the things that make you respond the way
I love opening a National Treasures. I did buy two first off the line Panini Limiteds. They're probably going to be $6.49, but I did buy two of those, and it's just one of the products that I really love. So I don't mind having those around, but I want to see what the hobby looks like before I open any. But I am going to try to pick up more of the first off the line stuff when I can.
He's not a member of a gang and is about to knock somebody off. So it's about education. I'd love to talk to you more about it because it is the answer in my view, that and education, actually access to education. And one of the things that I talk a lot about, and I'm sorry to go on about this, but it's important, I don't think we can look at our opportunity in the
Oh yeah, I know. I've hit several good ones over the years.
criminal justice system. That is
I've got the 101 for Josh Doxson from 2016.
home you live in, but if you go ahead and you want to get insurance and you're in a black neighborhood, you're going to pay more for the same insurance I'm going to pay for the exact same home. Your car, you never had an accident in your car. You live in a black neighborhood, you're going to pay a higher premium in your car. So there's so many things that are built in institutionally that disadvantage African Americans and Latinos that in fact I think
I sold both of the ones that I got. They have both sold now.
The baddest things are, I keep reading from presidential historians how I've inherited the worst situation since Lincoln, worse than Roosevelt, because economic crisis, political crisis, racial crisis, etc. But the fact is that everyone's gotten a close-up look now and seen what's happened. That kid holding that camera for 8 minutes and 46 seconds awakened the whole world. When I met with his little daughter after he was dead, she said, "My daddy's changed the world." Guess what? Not only here in the United States, around the world, people said, "Whoa, I didn't know that happened." Dr. King, when my generation, when I got involved in the civil rights movement as a high school student in the early 60s, and you had Bull Connor and his dogs in the late 50s singing on those ladies going in their black dresses going to church and little kids and fire hoses ripping their skin off. He said what happened there was it was a second emancipation because people in places where there weren't black communities said, "That really happens? I didn't believe it." They saw it happen. And so it generated the Voting Rights Act, it generated the Civil Rights Act, and he called it the second emancipation. We have a chance now to make significant change in racial disparities. And I'm going to say something's going to get me in trouble, which I couldn't go through a whole show without doing that. And that is that, think about it. You want to know where the American public is, look at the money being spent in advertising. Did you ever 5 years ago think every second or third ad out of 5 or 6 you'd turn on would be biracial couples? No, I'm not being facetious. The reason I'm so hopeful is this new generation. They're not like us. They're thinking differently. They're more open. And we got to take advantage of it.
I want you to...
I'm sorry.
I want you to meet Luverta Martin, a Democrat from Mequon, sorry. Luverta is a certified nurse midwife. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. President. Our nation's experiences with and through COVID-19 and other recent tragedies have strengthened the foundation of division among Americans. What are your immediate and tangible
8 left, guys. 8 left.
divided we are as a nation?
I take issue with what everybody says about the division. For example, my plan on COVID, 69% of the American people supported. 69. In this state, recent poll, 60%. 60%. 45% of Trump voters and 55% of Republican voters. The nation is not divided. You go out there and take a look and talk to people. You have fringes on both ends. But it's not nearly as divided as we make it out to be. And we have to bring it together. You may remember how trouble I get in. I said there were 3 reasons I was running. one to restore the soul of the country, decency, honor, integrity, talk about the things that matter to people, treat people with dignity. Secondly, I said to rebuild the backbone of the country, middle class, and this time bring everybody along and have a chance. And thirdly, unite the country. Well, my own primary, I got unite the country. What are you talking about? You cannot function in our system without consensus other than abusing power at the executive level. So I really think there's so many things that we agree on that we don't focus enough on. And that's in large part, I think, because we don't just condemn the things that are so obviously wrong. Obviously wrong. That everybody agrees on. The way we were raised, as my mother would say, half the things that occurred in the last campaign came out of my mouth, and she'd say,
well, I will see tomorrow what's out there. I'm going to be able to go hit some Targets and Walmarts and see what's coming out. So I'll report back tomorrow night about 6:30. We'll see what's going on. Maybe we'll find some new football. Going to be looking for some optic, of course, and whatever basketball we can find, and maybe some retail baseball, just to be a little bit different. I really like the 52s that are in the Series 1, so I can't wait to get enough to actually open some. So I guess if nobody else needs anything, I guess let's call it an evening and go spend time with the family.
You know, what confuses people is you talk about refugees, you talk about...
Me too, John. We'll leave it where it is. All right, we will start up tomorrow with 8 spots left on 2 boxes at $28 a spot. And we'll see if we can't get this thing filled this week. Graham, appreciate it. Keep drooling over that NT box. Maybe I'll find another one to go with it. Yep. All right, y'all take care. Jordan, Kevin, everybody, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 6:30. Let's see if we can't get something done tomorrow. If y'all want to. I mean, hopefully we'll find something cool that's different we can do. Jordan, I will be working on finding as much as we can. All right, guys, y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow.